Hello, I wanted to briefly just mention a couple of things that are in the news as I speak, and discuss this with people who view our website. One is the health care bill that's presently before the House, and I could speak about that for a long time, but I will resist that temptation. However, I did want to mention one thing, and that is that when I was driving into work here in Washington this past Friday morning, I heard the governor of Arizona, a woman named Jan Brewer, on the news, who said that Arizona was facing its worst deficit ever, over $3 billion. And then she said that they had calculated that the health care bill presently before the Congress would cost Arizona an additional $4 billion that they simply don't have. And this is one of the most serious concerns about this legislation. It is paid for in large part, or at least in significant part, by placing many millions more on the Medicaid rolls. Of course, in Tennessee, Medicaid is called TennCare. Governor Bredesen sent to each member of the Tennessee delegation a detailed letter several months ago estimating that the health care bill would cost Tennesseans an additional $750 million up to as much as $3 billion. Mark Levin, a national radio commentator, has said that it will force states that don't have a state income tax to impose one in order to pay for this. And I mentioned the problems that the Arizona governor pointed out. Actually, many states are in far worse shape than Arizona. California is said to be in worse financial shape even than Greece, which is near economic collapse. Illinois, because of a very, very lucrative pension program primarily, is in terrible, terrible shape, and many others are in worse shape. Tennessee, frankly, will not be hit quite as hard as most states because of the health care bill, because Tennessee already covers more than most people, or more than most states on our TennCare program. But the legislation could require some of the savings that Governor Bredesen is trying to implement on the TennCare program not to come about. So this is a very, very dangerous thing for the states. And even if you thought that the health care bill presently before the Congress was the greatest thing since sliced bread, the truth is that we simply can't afford it. Now, the second thing I wanted to mention was I have agreed to co-sponsor a resolution in regard to earmarks. The Democrats in the House voted to impose an earmark ban or eliminate earmarks only on earmarks going to private companies. That was only 11% of the earmarks that are included in the appropriations bills. The Republicans in the House voted to ban or eliminate all earmark spending. And now we have a resolution that I have agreed to co-sponsor calling on the entire House to vote to eliminate all earmarks. But I will tell you that earmarks are just the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. They amount to far less than 1% of the budget. We need to go much further than that. We need to have major spending reductions in every department and agency in the federal government, even those that are considered to be very politically popular. If we don't, we will never get a handle on this financial crisis that's facing this country. Just a couple of days ago in the Washington Post, there was an article stating that the Chinese premier had said that the U.S. must get its financial house in order, or the Chinese were going to stop buying American Treasury securities. It's really a sad day when we have to be lectured by financial experts and the leaders of China and Russia and other countries about getting our financial house in order, and that shows you how far we've gone. The Congress recently voted, I voted against it, but we recently voted to increase the debt limit to $14 trillion a mind-boggling figure. But it puts not only the futures of our children and grandchildren at risk, it puts the futures of people who want to retire with secure retirements 7 or 8 or 10 years from now at risk. So we need major reductions in spending, or this country is going to face some very, very severe problems in the future. And I want all the people I represent to know that I'm doing everything I can. I've always been rated one of the most fiscally conservative members of the entire Congress, and I continue to, I plan to continue that record as long as I have the privilege to represent East Tennessee in the Congress. Thank you.